Once upon a time,
there was Melody
and Corey,
and this is our story.
Feel good when you found love, not the fake love, I'm talking about some white doves. I got a shorty that's gonna ride for me, die for me, put her right hand on the Bible, still lie for me.
Hi guys, I hope you guys are having the best quarantine. But this is the first video that we're recording during the quarantine. We really hope that you guys are prospering and staying healthy and staying put and staying positive and working out and eating right and drinking your water. During this time, we're trying to do the same.
We wanted to make this sit down video just to do basically an update on what we've been doing, what's been going on. As most of you guys know, we do live in New York, so it's been an experience being at the epicenter of it all. So we kind of just wanted to update you guys and let you know everything that's been happening from our perspective and what's really been going on with us.
And why this is the first time that you're hearing from us since the beginning. Because I'm pretty sure y'all probably was thinking like, all right, now they're home together, everything's shut down, why they still not coming out with videos? So
right.
Here you go. This is just, you know, to at least buy us back a month.
I guess we could just start back at a little bit before the lockdown happened. Of course, we were super active. We had a lot going on, so we weren't able to do like a lot of videos just because of time purposes. But as time kept progressing, we saw that this whole pandemic was becoming like more and more real. I remember the first conversation was more so like, this is just like the common flu. So we were still going about our everyday lives, still going out to go to work, doing just everyday things. Life was basically the same because the threat didn't seem so severe. So we were just going about our everyday lives.
And so I remember this day very vividly. I was at work and my job has like a few flat screens so that they could like show sports. So basketball was on, and like across the screen it was saying that basically they were canceling the whole season because of the coronavirus outbreak. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this has to be serious if the NBA is going to cancel their entire season because of it. And then I remember I was still at work, so I'll go on Twitter and they're just basically saying like the NFL canceled their season, and then baseball canceled their season. And I'm just like, all right, billion-dollar corporations or just anything that's bringing in that much money is not going to cancel, you know, if they really didn't think that this was a threat. So that's, I remember that's when I really started taking it serious, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like now we have to go to the supermarket and like start panic buying and like start really preparing for just in case it does hit us and we go on lockdown. That was definitely around the time, which was probably like a week before the shutdown. That's around the time that we started taking it serious. And I know that a lot of people before that already was prepared, already had their rice and their toilet paper and everything else that they possibly thought that they would need months, like a month before the lockdown. We were one of those, we were part of the whole, oh, it's not that serious until it was, I guess, type of situations.
We weren't the people who thought that like, oh, this isn't really a thing. We just thought that it was something that would be minor, and we were wrong. We were prepared, but it was really last minute. Once everything started to shut down, it was only a matter of time before our jobs started to shut down as well. So we got the notification from both of our jobs that I'd be working from home and her job would be taking a break until everything, you know, kind of smoothed over. Lockdown began. In the beginning, it was a little tougher because it felt like everything is shut down. Like, it didn't feel like take precaution to protect yourself and protect others. It just felt like everything was getting shut down. So it wasn't scary, but it caused a little bit of anxiety just from that level of like precaution that we had to take. It went from, oh, this is just this little flu thing, to like, no, this is like super serious and life-threatening. And now the place that we live has become like the center of it all.
Basically, that first week, most things were still open. It's just like places that could hold more than a certain amount of people, like those type of places were closed, but other places were still open, like wax places and like hair salons and nail salons and barbershops. All that stuff was still open. It was just like bigger places that was closed. That's why like my job closed, and like a whole bunch of like bars and stuff across New York City. So I mean, for me, like I wasn't really anxious. It was just more like, wow, I can't believe I'm living in a time where like it's a pandemic and you know the government is telling businesses you have to close. It was so surreal to me. Like, so in that week, I remember I was just going to every single supermarket, like just trying to not really like panic buy, I wouldn't say, but I was definitely like with the crew of last minute shoppers.
Yeah. And
I like everywhere I went, it was a line to get in. It was the line to check out would be like to the back of the store, and everywhere was packed. Like I've never seen anything like it. Like, you know how like when it's like hurricanes and stuff like that, so people would go crazy in the supermarkets and whatnot to prepare for that. It was like that times 10. I have literally never seen anything like that in my life. And I used to work in a supermarket, so I remember the hurricane scares. I actually was a cashier when Hurricane Sandy came, so like I know what that's like, and it was nothing like that. It was 10 times worse. And that's when I know for sure I was out and about the most, stopping and everything like that, and just trying to make sure that we were prepared, because honestly I thought that like they would close the supermarkets at one point. Like when they said lockdown, in my brain it processed as every single establishment is going to be closed, no matter how essential it is. Like they just need to make sure that like everyone isn't catching it, so they just would shut down everything for the 2 weeks to kind of like slow the spread of it. So that's really why I was like, no, we have to make sure that we have everything in this house just in case they really shut down everything.
But after we saw that it wasn't going to be just a little 2-week thing, because at first, you know, it was 14-day quarantine and then we'd be okay. So after we realized that wasn't a thing, reality started to set in, and we had to figure out like, okay, this is what life looks like now. This is our new reality. 2 or 3 weeks into being on the shutdown, we slowly started seeing symptoms in Mel that were they weren't alarming at first. It felt like just normal. This could be allergies. This is some everyday, maybe just getting a little sick type of thing, until we started seeing the symptoms kind of pop up more. Once they started learning more about what the coronavirus was and how you could detect it, we started to kind of see the relationship between those facts and kind of what she was going through at the time.
So one day I wake up and I feel fine. I really don't get sick like that, knock on wood, but like I don't. So I really try to take care of my body as best as I can, so I don't get those like colds and flus and stuff that come around like every season. So I realized I was coughing. You know when you have like a tickle in your throat, so you're like coughing, but it's no phlegm in your chest, because the cause of you coughing is because there's a tickle in your throat and not because you're trying to cough up like mucus or something. So I'm coughing and there's no mucus in my chest. I don't feel sick. It's just a cough. And it's a dry cough, if you will. So you cough once, you cough twice, you don't think nothing of it. But when Corona's outside, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm coughing. I always try to think positive and everything like that. I'm like, no, it can't be. The next day come, still coughing. No mucus, it's just a cough. And I remember they specifically stated, if you have a cough with no mucus, because around the time that the corona emerged, it was also allergy season. So some people was having like allergy symptoms, and it was like, I don't know if this is corona or if it's allergy. Like it was one of those. But I do get allergies, but it really messes with my eyes. It has nothing to do with like me coughing, and it was a specific dry cough. So I was like, oh my gosh. And that probably lasted like 4 days. Okay, so then it goes away. I think nothing of it. Everything's fine. We're like, okay, you know, you just had this little cough. It went away. I'm like, okay, we're good. Then this is the gag. This is the biggest gag. So I wake up the next morning. I cook us breakfast. So as I'm cooking, I realize I don't smell anything that I'm cooking. I started like putting my nose to stuff, like really trying to sniff it. Nothing. So I eat after I'm done making the food. I'm eating the food. Can't taste any of it. Any of it. Nothing at all. And it's not the type of, oh, I can't smell, I can't taste, where it's like
a little bit of something.
Yeah, like it's not faint. You know how like when you're sick, you kind of like, and you have that stuffy nose, and it's like because your nose is stuffed, it's messing with your taste buds too, and you're all congested, and it's like, you know, you go to eat, you can't taste it that much, and then you put the Vicks in your nose, and you can like kind of smell it, but you know, it's not like as strong as it normally is. Like the menthol isn't like, you know, but you could still smell it. It was none of that. So after I realized that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? So I didn't tell Corey yet, because I really did not, like, I didn't want to like put that on me. I didn't want to speak that or put it into the universe or anything like that until I was sure that like, no, this is that. So I go in the bathroom, I get the Vicks, I put the Vicks up my nostril, nothing at all. It was like as if I put Vaseline up my nose. And this is Vicks.
And you know Vicks hit.
This is like menthol. Nothing. And then
smell Vicks.
I get the mouthwash, nothing. Like I could feel the burn in my mouth or whatever, like when it was like killing the bacteria or whatever, but as far as the minty taste, nothing at all. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I go to Corey and I'm like, I can't taste the smell, nothing. And at the time, this was not a known symptom. Like Corey had said, like this is something new for everybody. So it's like as it was going on, that's when they started adding symptoms to the list and adding certain things to the list, because originally they didn't know. So this is like my third day now, not smelling anything, not tasting anything. So I'm casually scrolling down my Instagram, through my Instagram stories, and one of my mutuals put up a post from the New York Post stating that, oh, there's a new corona symptom, and the symptom is a sudden loss of taste and smell, and it's seen in young adults and teens.
Red flag. So at that point, we were like, okay, this is really that. Because there's no other explanation as to why she wakes up and she doesn't have a sense of taste nor smell. And it wasn't like a cold was coming and she didn't have the sniffles. She wasn't stopped up or anything of the sort. After she lost her taste and smell, it had been probably, I'd say probably like day 9, day 10 that she hasn't been able to taste or smell. And I woke up and I had this weird feeling between like my nasal passage and my throat. And I was like, oh my God, please don't let this be like some kind of sickness. Now, granted, I've already had the cough, but it's super hard for me to distinguish between whether this is, like she said, the allergy cough or a possible COVID cough, because I do have allergies. It's allergy season, so I'm thinking maybe this is that. I don't want to feel like I have this, and I don't want to be like one of those paranoid people who cough one time and all of a sudden it's COVID. So I feel it. And I'm like afraid. I'm like, oh God, this is happening. This is probably how she was feeling. And I probably should have been like listening a little bit more, maybe a little bit more sympathetic, because I was just excited that like I can still taste the Cheerios. Like I'm okay. So
I made steak and all that,
and it was delicious.
Couldn't taste it.
You couldn't taste it, but I could.
Smell it.
So I was like, it smells great. You're doing a great job, sweetie. The whole time she couldn't smell it, but I could. I enjoyed it. I go, and the first thing I sniffed, because I was like, if I could smell it, I'm okay. I was in the kitchen and I sniffed salsa. And I could not smell the salsa. I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, do I have to go? Like, I don't know what day you get your sense of taste and smell back. I just know it's gone.
Because at this point, I still didn't have my, this was like a week
in
to me not having taste and smell.
So I have no idea like when it comes back.
For me, and it was day 1 for her.
And it's like day 1, so I was like, no, this can't be it. Like, this cannot be it. So like, I'm smelling this salsa. I started smelling and tasting everything. I could not smell, I could not taste at all. So then at this point, we knew then that's probably what it was. But like, this really solidified it, because it wasn't just like, oh, she got it and then it was just some random thing that happened to her. Once I got it, I'm like, wow, like, you know, we're really going through this. We're gonna get to tell our kids that there was a pandemic in our lifetime that we actually got and survived. There wasn't a lot of promise in the news, and especially in New York, there wasn't a lot of positivity or promise. And obviously, because we're still going through this and it's such a tragic time in our lives, our health professionals are telling us to remain at home. If you see the symptoms, then you have it, but
just
coming out
symptoms.
coming out isn't going to do anything but possibly harm someone else and pass it along. So we can't go out to try to seek help, and at this point they don't really have anything to help us with. They could just diagnose us on paper, add us to the number, and send us back home. And now we've possibly given it to everyone we've come in contact with on our way to see a health professional
to do what we could have done from home. Luckily and thankfully, like as far as like my breathing went, like I didn't have any troubles breathing. My body wasn't achy, but my eyeballs were. And the day before I lost my sense of taste and smell, the whole day, like my eyeballs were very like, it felt like I was straining to like just look, like just to see, like they were very, very achy. And it wasn't even like sensitive to light or anything. It was just painful. So between that, the cough and the loss of taste and smell were my only symptoms. But I know for sure that it was COVID-19, because that was like once they came up with that, and when they put that up, like it was everywhere. It was on the news. It was so many articles. It like WebDM. Everybody was like, no, this is a new symptom. And a lot of people that did test positive stated that that was a significant symptom. We definitely experienced that, like eating and not being able to taste it. It's so weird, like being in the shower, not being able to smell your soap, like stuff like that. Is like, it was just the weirdest thing, because like I said, even when you're sick, you could still smell a little bit, even if you're like congested 100%, like you still have a sense, like the tiniest sense. Like you could pop a hole in your mouth and you're gonna taste that hole, but like on this it's completely gone. And it was the scariest thing to me.
My symptoms going through it, I had a headache for like 4 days. And I didn't know at the time if it was like a menstrual headache or what, but I had a headache for like 4 days. I had the pain behind my eyes, and just to look at things, it was like she was saying, it was super straining. It felt like straining to see. I did think that it was some kind of sinus infection, because I've had that before, and the symptoms felt like that. This is before I lost my sense of taste and smell. So that feeling when I woke up, and the thing between my nasal passage and my throat, that feeling remained for a while, and she hadn't said anything about that. So I thought, okay, maybe this could be one of those things where it's like I have symptoms of this, and because it's relatable to COVID, I'm kind of meshing them together. I went to the store and I got some stuff for like allergies and everything, and I don't know if that helped or not, but she went through 14 days of not being able to taste
like even
or
more
smell.
than that, to be honest. It was way more. Like not way, but it probably was like, I want to say it was like 2.5 weeks. Sparkle says hi. It was like 2.5 weeks of not having it. Corey's came back faster than mine.
Yeah.
Mine was gone for a very long time, and it was at one point that like a little part of me was like, wow, this might be my new norm. Like, what if it never come back? Like, I didn't think it would ever come back.
So I don't know if it helped or not, but like I was saying, I went to the store and I got allergy medicine, and I used Flonase, and I have like Allegra, because I spoke with a friend of mine, and someone she knew felt like he was going through the same thing, and his doctor was telling him like basically calm down, go get these things, and his taste of smell, his sense of smell and taste came back in a week. So I thought maybe this is like maybe some kind of cheat code where if I use these things, it'll come back. And honestly, I don't know if those things particularly help. And I'm not saying to do those things, obviously, consult your doctor. But I did those things, and my sense of taste and smell did come back faster than Mel's. I think I probably went through like 8 to 9 days of not being able to taste and smell.
So yeah, that was basically our story. The beginning, the first month period of quarantine, it was just adjusting to the lifestyle. My problem wasn't necessarily like being in the house or everything like that. It was just a matter of going outside and everything's closed. Like this is something like, especially living in the city that never sleeps for your whole life.
It was sleep.
I've never seen the city sleep.
It was so sad.
Even when 9/11 happened, it slowed down. but it wasn't still as like the streets weren't as empty as they were now, and like stuff wasn't closed like how they were during this. Like this was literally something that I've never experienced, so it was just so weird to see. And like all around the city there was like small changes, like all the supermarkets put up, I'm pretty sure they did this everywhere, but they have like these huge thick sheets of plastic glass or whatever with just like one little square cut out
so that you can pay. And then like the line is like super different to get up. But after seeing everything that everyone was saying like about what's going on in New York, and then having family call, my family was on like a billion, just because they're in the South, and to hear the things that was going on in New York was like super frightening to them. And everybody would be calling me, and I'm like, it's not like it's bad, yes, but like my everyday life, I'm fine. I can go outside and, you know, go grocery shopping and everything. But they were so afraid because of this, of what everything of, they were so afraid because of everything that they were hearing on the news. And even though it was and is pretty scary, there were still so many beautiful moments that was like happening around the city. I don't know if everyone knows about it, but every single day in New York City at 7 o'clock, everybody like gathers in their homes and yells out of like their windows and their doors, and they bang pots, whistles, they do everything, horn, and celebrate,
clap, applaud.
Yeah, and they're like celebrating all of the essential workers, and it's like just basically a sign of unity. It's my favorite part of the day. Every day at 7 o'clock. And I don't know, just that moment of everybody coming together at one time to kind of just say like, hey, we're still here, we're getting through this, is like such a beautiful thing. And
if anybody out there have family that, you know, got it and they're like fighting for their lives right now or passed away from it, like we just want to offer our condolences. We know how serious it is.
Yeah,
we are victims of it, we got it. And like it was just a weird time, like not even just to know like, oh my gosh, I have this thing that's going around, but not being able to be around anybody. I did not want to leave the house. I did not
see your mom for like a month.
The house. I did not go around anybody. I didn't even want to go to like a supermarket. So like for those 2 weeks that we were in quarantine, like we like we didn't even go to check the mail. Like I remember, like when I finally went outside, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so like an outside person. Like that is like my lifestyle. Very much like a nature girl and stuff like that. I'm always like in parks and everything, taking nature walks and window shopping and sightseeing. So to not be able to go anywhere, not even downstairs to check my mail, it was like, it was starting to get to me. But I was just so grateful that I got it and it didn't affect me the way it affects so many millions of people. So through it all, like I remained like humble and thankful, because I realized that I was so lucky to you know, to get it and to still be able to like play video games and like conduct a Zoom call for my class, or to like still like clean up and take care of myself without like having to go to the hospital or anything like that. So I'm just so grateful for that. We're all gonna get through this, and it's just gonna be one of those things that we see that our kids and our grandkids are gonna read in history books.
We just wanted to give kind of that update about it. And then of course, because everybody was wondering why we haven't put up the videos and things, and we hadn't even discussed going through you know, having coronavirus. So that was half of the reason why, because we spent the first month in quarantine, actually quarantining ourselves, because we were actually, you know, going through it. And yeah, so that was the beginning of it. And then the second, it was like trying to really get down this new formula. This is how we live. Like we weren't motivated to sit down and do these kind of videos when there was like tragedy around. There were a lot of things going on in our personal lives. You know, you have to have the energy, and it has to be, if we're gonna give you guys something positive, we need to feel positive about it. We can't be, you know, stressed about, you know, our parents being sick or us being sick, or, you know, what's going on outside of our window. So we just needed some time to actually get ourselves together to be able to show you guys something good, because honestly our day-to-day lives was consistent of talking to our parents, making sure they were okay, and trying to make sure we were okay. So that was our lives, and recording it really wasn't entertaining. It wasn't super positive at the moment.
I didn't tell my mom that I had it until way after the fact. That I knew for sure. I was like cleared of it and everything, like, and then Corey was cleared of it.
Yeah.
Because like she would have been so nervous. She would have been downstairs every day with like a meal for us
leaving
or something.
Stuff on the
like,
stairs.
She like loved that for us, but like I just didn't want to do that to her. So I just wanted to make sure that I was like through with it and good before I started telling people.
Right.
But
same with my mom. Like she's the type to like wrap herself up and jump on a plane or something. But my mom was actually really sick at the time too, so it was just a lot going on. So yeah, we were just doing that, and then you know we're doing school and working from home. We're still doing that.
But one thing we did do, and if you don't have us on Instagram,
follow us on Instagram.
I'm gonna need you to follow us on Instagram.
You're so late.
Because one thing we have done, because we did not record anything, was going live. I love going live with y'all. Like that is one of my favorite things. Like I really love uploading on YouTube and then commenting back to the comments that we get. That's why we always tell y'all to leave y'all comments and suggestions, because we literally go through all of them and we really just love getting them and responding to them. So live is very personal. It's very like in the moment and personal, and I really like that. And you guys really give us a lot of good energy and love while we're on there,
and it's unfiltered. Like you say whatever, we just be on there like saying and doing whatever. So we like for you guys to be able to see that side as well. And just when we can't sit down and do this and have time to like edit out a video, you can see us raw and in the like
edited, uncut, just very top off the dome. So definitely, if you do not follow us on Instagram,
you're missing out. Follow us
on Instagram, because we don't even like plan when. There's no schedule, like it's no structure to it. It's just hey, I feel like going live right now. Doop. So that's like literally how it is. So I'm not telling you to turn on the post notifications, but you might want to turn on the post notifications if you want to see like these lives. And like most of the time they get saved, because I understand like everybody doesn't have the luxury to just be at home right now. So to the ones that still working, shout outs to y'all. Thank you for your services.
Thank you.
And we always make sure to save them unless Instagram throws us off and we can't save it. We always make sure to save it so that whoever can't see it can see it. So you know, we don't really give too many like details or nothing about YouTube, but it's its own little entity, but it's great. Like, so if you love us and if you love our personalities and everything like that, and if you just want to see more, then definitely follow us on Instagram so that you can get that live and in color entertainment.
And if we're not motivated enough to get up and do a sit down video like this, then we'll just jump on a live, honey. Like we'll just get on live and we'll spend time with y'all there. It's like an hour, sometimes 2 hours, just sitting there talking.
Don't let me get a sippy sip, because I will keep restarting. Oh, I'm over an hour. All right, keep starting. Start it over again. Start it over again. Now I'm doing a Q&A. Now I'm telling y'all a story. Now I'm twerking. Like you just never know what you're gonna get, and I think that's the best part of it. It's very like it's no type of structure to it.
Right. But we do want to say thank you to our YouTube subscribers who love us right here and love to see us right here.
And I know some of y'all don't even have an Instagram, so that's why we never gonna leave y'all hanging.
So yeah, that was basically an update we wanted to give you guys. We're recording all day today, so we'll have more content to give you. Leave your suggestions of things that you want to see now that we're in quarantine and we're not all sickly and we are motivated to do videos. Let us know what videos you want to see so we can entertain y'all while you on lockdown. If your city isn't open just yet, we got you. Yeah, I think that's it. Bye.
Later.
Feel good when you found love. Not the fake love, I'm talking about some white doves. I got a shorty that's gonna ride for me, die for me. Put her right hand on the Bible, still lie for me.